I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. And we're here on Cedar Oaks at the long range, and that's because we're going to be shooting some 9mm. So we're not really going to be shooting long, although I don't know if you can see it, I do have one way up there that is at 25 yards. So that's a little bit of a distance for the gun we're going to be talking about, because here it is right here. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about that holster, by the way. This is a SCCY. Now, you remember we did part 1. This is part 2. In part 1, we were using the CPX1 RD, which is the red dot. This is not. This is the CPX1. It's just strictly the regular iron sights. As you can see, it's empty. Right there. And that has got some very, very nice white dot sights. We have not fired this. We're going to be finding out what it's like, and we're going to shoot... I think about 4 different ammunitions. I've got some Remington, Winchester, CCI, and one other one. Anyway, IMI. I ought to remember that, because that's one I want to try out, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. This thing has got a 3.1-inch barrel, so it's very good for your concealed weapon, but not real good for long distance. And the first target we have set up is 10 yards there. It's a very small silhouette. Then we've got another one up there that's 10-inch, and that's just a regular gong plate, and that's at 15 yards. And then way up there's 25. So we're going to be stretching the distance on this, but the main thing is we want to see how it reacts with the different ammunition. While we're talking about ammunition, I was planning on firing some Wolf. This guy said no. They said that they advise you to use strictly brass, and of course Wolf is steel casing. So we're going to be shooting some brass casing. We're going to shoot 115 grain and also a 124. And that's going to be the CCI Blazer. So that's going to be interesting to see how it cycles that. And the IMI, I was telling you about that. This is one that's made in Israel. And it is a hollow point. It's a 115 grain. And I'm anxious to see how this will fire hollow points, but also how the IMI performs. I have never used this ammunition before. And we're going to I've got 2 magazines, so you're going to have to bear with me as we load these up. And I think the first one we're going to try is the Remington, and then we're going to go with the Winchester. So why don't I load these up? And I forgot, I was going to tell you about this holster. Now this holster I've got down here, you'll notice it doesn't fit real good. You got to kind of jockey it around. That's because it's not made for this gun. It's a We the People holster, and it's made, I believe, for a Taurus, the G2C. Well, that one, of course, it would fit it real good. But this one, if you do have something like that, you can use it for it. You just got to jockey it around a little bit in order to get it there. You got to kind of lift it up. It will go in, and it will hold it good enough, and then you can draw it real easy. So why don't we load this up, and we're going to see what this thing will do at 10 yards, of course, which is going to be that little silhouette, and then the 15 yards, and I'm not going to waste a lot of rounds on that 25 yards because I don't know if this is going to reach it. So let me get this thing loaded. Alright, I zoomed you in just a little bit on these targets. In fact, I'm going to have to get on the other side of you because I'm kind of getting blocked on this one thing. I got a limb that fell down through the storm we've had just the other night, so got to get around that too. But you can see the ones, like I said, they're at 10, 15, and 25 yards up there. And from this direction, I got a post in my way on that 25-yard one. But I'm going to shoot Remington first. And I grab my other magazine. I do have 3 magazines, but here's the problem. The one magazine is having a loading issue. So SCCY replaced it. No problem with it. They're a real good company this way. They really stand behind their products. And you know how magazines are. They can, from one magazine to the next, they can be kind of spooky, and this one happened to be. You could rattle it like a baby's rattle. The ammo, it's a double stack, and it just didn't want to go in there right. So we're going to be using a couple of them, but that's okay. We'll just pause and reload. But again, I'm going to try the Remington first. This will be the first time that we're going to be firing all this with this. Now, I don't even know how these sights are going to be. The adjustment, and I should mention that right now, the adjustment on it is for windage only. You cannot do this for the elevation. So, and it's got, like I said, it's got 2 big white dots in the back and a smaller in the front. So that should make it pretty good for shooting here. And it's got a manual safety, which is the 1, the 2 doesn't, but it has a very, very long trigger pull, which I've told you about in the past. And oh, by the way, it weighs about 15 ounces. I don't know if I told you that or not. So let's, I'm going to get my ear protection on. Already got my eyes on here protected, and got to get this down. There we go. Okay, let me get on the other side of you, and then we're going to start shooting. It's kind of a tight fit on that one. I don't know. We'll find out what happens here. Like I said, it's very long trigger pull. Well, I got that one. Now we're going to try for a 25 yard. My golly, 25 yards. It hit that. So we're going to, this is, like I said, a very long trigger pull, which we're going to go into. We'll go back here to 10. Ah, I missed it. I missed that one. Huh. Well, we got a jam. That's the last round. Well, I had a little bit of a cycling problem there. That's Remington. Put safety on. We'll put some Winchester in. See what that does. Again, had a little bit of problem with the first round. I don't know. Take safety off. We'll see what happens. Huh. I got that 25 once. Just can't seem to hit it again. Heck with it. Okay, it shoots a little low. I have found that. Because I'm having to bring it up just a little bit. Well, that was a Remington. I mean, the Winchester, and the Winchester all went through. So let's load up some of the, I'm going to save that IMI for the last, because I really want to see how that works. We're going to try some little bit higher up. We're going to go with a 124 grain, so let me get to that. Okay, we're going to start off, like I said, with the 124 grain. I've already got one in here. Take safety off, and we'll see how this works. This ought to be interesting. Well, that one certainly went. At that, it's going to be interesting to see how it does on that long distance one. Yeah, still didn't get it. There we do. Okay. You definitely got to bring it down lower on that one, which you would. It's a longer distance. We'll try that again. Yeah. How the heck with it. Yeah, we got a jam. That's with this CCI. Okay, that was it. So far, we've had a jam on a CCI, and also the, well, actually there's been a little bit of a problem with each one of them getting in there. It wasn't a serious jam, it was one that just did not rack in properly. So we're going to see now, and it didn't do too bad with the Winchester. I guess there was one, come to think of it. I'm going to grab that other one there. I'm going to have to go in front of you. And that one didn't even want to go in too well. So, we'll see what happens with it. Let's see if I can hit that 25 with this IMI. It's harder to get that 25. Well, we had it jam with that one too. It just did not rack in. I don't know if it's the magazines or what. I've got two different magazines I'm using, and it's doing it with both of them. Again, another one. Well, that's it. I don't know why those last two on the 15 I missed. The 10 I've been getting them. Like I said, this is definitely a concealed carry, short distance. You know, 10 meters or 10 yards rather, I'm pretty much hitting that one every time. So let's get back around here and we'll do a little bit of talking about it. Before we talk about this, I've decided I'm going to load up some more IMI, because that one had a little bit more of a problem, and I want to see if we've got some sort of an issue with this, or I don't know. We'll find out. We have had a problem, it seems like, with every one of them, so just hang with me while I load this up again. Okay, we're going to try this again with the IMI, and I'm going to go with a little more of a rapid fire, see how it works with that. We'll just see. You can't rapid fire this thing that well, and you'll see why when I show you. Okay, let's go with this. It's just hard to get that first one in there, it seems like. And we had another jam. Another jam. Another jam. Okay. Maybe that IMI is jamming more. I'm going to use this same magazine. We're going to load one of them others and we'll see what that does. Okay, I racked around in before we started, and I had a trouble with that first one getting it in. I don't really know why. Take the safety off and we'll try these and see how they work. Again, I'm going to show you why it's hard to do rapid fire with this. Okay, that's all cycled, so it must be the IMI, because I wanted to use the same magazine on it, and I don't know why that IMI didn't cycle good. Maybe this thing doesn't like hollow points. Who knows? But it went through with that Winchester pretty good. So now we're going to go around and talk a little bit about this. Okay, like I said, I'm going to show you, and we talked about this in part one, at what a long trigger pull this has, and I'll put that back like that. So, you know, that should have, for some reason, that did not stay open. It's supposed to stay open after the last round. Didn't do it. Put that magazine back in, see what it'll do. Well, anyway, you'll see here, gotta take safety off. Now, you'll see the trigger pull. There, it clicked clear back here. Reset. Right there. Took that long. Yeah, and this is a double. You can fire it again. As you'll notice, I did not have to slide back again to get it ready to go. This is double action. Double and single action. So that makes it nice, because if you do have a round that doesn't go off right at first, you can pull the trigger again and hopefully it will. We didn't have to do that. Instead, this time They just did not want to cycle in. And you know, we're going to do something else here. Going to keep it just a little bit longer for 10 more rounds. Now I know Sky said do not use the Wolf, don't use steel casings. We're going to try it in this same magazine and see what happens. And I've got, I think, just 10 rounds down here, so stay with me and we're going to see what it does. Alright, that actually racked in easier than the others. The others kind of jammed right at first. This one went right in. So we'll find out. Take the safety off and we'll try one. Well, we had a jam with it. Oh, I tell you, that is such a long trigger pull. Doggone. Okay, that was the last one. So, now we'll get around and talk about this. Alright, you've seen what it did with the steel casings. It went through. You know, I had one jam, but then again I had jams with every one of them. It seemed like there was a jam, and this magazine worked on that last one just before this when I was using the Winchester. The steel went through about as good as what, in fact, went through better than what the IMI did, and also better than what the Remington and the Blazer did. We did have one hiccup, I think, with the Winchester at some point there, but that last one, just before that when we used the Winchester, she cycled right through, no problem. But I mean, firing that's one of the problems at trying to get that, like way up there at that long one. You're pulling it and you're pulling it and you're waiting, and you're actually kind of waving it around. So long trigger pull, I mean, yeah, again, this is a short distance gun. That's all there is to it. And with a 3.1 inch barrel, it's kind of like the Ruger's LCP2. Those have only got, you know, about 2 inch barrels. I think it's 1.86 or something on those. So those are definitely a short distance one. And we're going to be doing something again with the 22. And I'll talk to you about that later. But as right now we're talking about this Sky. And I'm not too sure as to what we're going to do if we do part 3. I don't know, I might come up with something for part 3, but right now part 2 is it, because you got to see what it did in shooting. We had a cycling problem with every ammo that I had. Even what really surprised me was the CCI, except for the fact that that was 124 grain and it was a Blazer, and you know, I've seen problems with that before, and so that doesn't really surprise me. I wish that I had some regular federal and regular CCI and try that, but I don't, and shooting Plink is not sponsored, so buying ammo is one of the major things in the budget, and with, you know, like I said, that makes it a little bit of a problem. And Sky, I will say, has been nice enough to send this gun along to be tested and evaluated. It's hard to find that now with the different ones. I got Browning, they will do the same, but they've pretty much cut us down to one gun a year. So, you know, this is, I don't really know what Sky's policy is on these, but I'm sure I'll be finding out. Right now, I really thank them, because they allowed us to bring this gun to you folks and show you what it did, and we've had a couple of parts with it, and the one before was with the red dot, but I have the feeling that this one that I had them do with the different rail, and that's all you got to do, same gun, just different rail. This is, or I should say different slide, I was saying different rail, but I meant different slide, and it's got the white dot sights. It has, I will say, it has very, very nice white dot sights. After using it a little bit more, I'm sure I'm going to be able to, you know, put it in a little bit tighter, but you can see on that 10-yard one that was hitting pretty doggone good. If I was trying to qualify for my concealed carry, yes, it would have qualified, because that is probably about the same size as the area you have to hit on the big target, and it would have hit it. It definitely would have hit it, and especially when you're shooting at 5, 7, and 10 yards, because the 10 yards is the main one. And again, I feel that this gun is a 10-yard or less gun, and I think that's really what it's made for, because it's got the shorter barrel. It's very compact. You get the right holster, and again, you got to kind of jockey around with this one, but it is not the proper holster to have, but it does go in and out after you. So don't, you know, just try to get the right holster. That's what I would say. But I didn't have one, so I used this one, found out it worked. So that's what we found on this so far, and I'll let you draw your conclusions. That's, you know, it could be magazines that was doing it, could be the ammo. I really don't know, because we did have one magazine, like I told you, that it's a double stack, and there's another reason. I'm not a big fan of double stack. They just seem like there's more problems with them. Single stacks, they're straight up. That's all there is to it. But you come to a double stack, and then, yeah. But double stacks also make it easier for compact guns, such as this. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.